The time is now.
Newcastle United latest news talk.
With talkSPORT's Jet Cunningham, live weekly on NUFC Talk TV, the voice of the Toon Army.
Hello and welcome to the Jack Cunningham Show on NUFC Talk. I am Jack Cunningham. I'm going to be taking you through for the next sort of hour and a half-ish. And, well, I can't wait to get this going. This is Newcastle United NUFC Talk, and it's going to be great. Obviously, we're going to be talking all about Newcastle. And as you would expect, well, what a game. What a game last night. Genuinely, what an incredible game of football that was last night. It was absolutely unbelievable when you think about it. It truly was unbelievable. We are talking about a match that ended 4-3 to the Magpies. And we somehow, I'm not entirely sure how, but we did win. We did win the game. We did actually manage to win this game of football. And it is hopefully going to be a turning point in our season. Truly, I was blown away by the victory. And, look, Newcastle did everything they could. They worked hard. They grafted for the full match. And we got the win. And we are 6th in the Premier League. Somehow, Newcastle are 6th in the Premier League. It doesn't make any sense, but we are 6th in the Premier League. Ultimately, look, was it our best performance? Absolutely not a chance. Not a chance was it our best performance. But, we did it. We managed to get the victory. And it was such a strange game. I mean, you look at it from any point of view, it was carnage. It was absolute carnage. As a game of football, you rarely see something like that, honestly. It was so chaotic, and it was fitting that we had such sad news about Kevin Keegan, of course, and it was fitting that on the day that we found out about Keegan being diagnosed with cancer, we got 4-3 entertainers-like game of football. And Harvey Barnes was the hero with the late winner, the latest Premier League winner in history. Truly ridiculous stuff. And really appreciate any comments come in. Please let me know what you thought of the match. Let's talk about it. Let's have a proper discussion about this. Don't want it just to be me sitting here and talking, I guess, to myself for, sort of an hour and a half or so. So, make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, really help support the stream, get involved in the live chat. We want to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to become a member by joining NTTV Plus for £4.99. Some members were refunded due to recent price changes. So if that applies to you, please consider rejoining. NTTV Plus now includes all member perks and exclusive content in one place. Supporting the channel helps us continue delivering daily Newcastle United content. So, well, where do we start with yesterday? I think a good place to start with yesterday would be the fact that we were awful for 10 minutes of the game, would we say? I thought we were absolutely dreadful for even longer than 10 minutes, actually. It was so bad at the start. It really was. It was so bad at the start of the match. We're talking about something that was just... It was so disappointing, wasn't it? It really was. It was so disappointing. The start of the game... like, what were we doing at the start of the match? Truly, it felt as if Leeds came, they turned up, they dominated basically from start to finish. Afternoon, hello. Hello, still bad. How are you doing? How you doing, slapping a bird? It's a good name, I like it. Well done. Nice to have you on board, lads. And yeah, well, please let me know what you thought of the game, because I mean, I'm still trying to process it myself. Hello, everyone. Nice to have you aboard. No problem at all. The notification's just gone live. Well, everyone can join in now. That's absolutely fantastic. We're here for an hour and a half, so that's brilliant. Hello, Trills Grinch Christensen. How are you doing? Brilliant to have you all aboard. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hello, Steve. Yes. Hello, Bird as well. All pleasure to have you all aboard. And yeah, please just send in your comments, because as I said, this is just me talking. So honestly, your comments are going to be great. We're gonna get into it all. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna look at the players. We're gonna look at what this could mean for Newcastle. Darren, hello, Darren. How are you doing? Nice to have you aboard as well. So Newcastle, we don't do it easy, do we? 4-3 victory against Leeds United. And it was a Premier League classic. Let's be absolutely fair. That will go down, I think, as one of our best games potentially in our Premier League history. We've officially broken a record. So since records began, that is the latest winning goal ever scored in a Premier League game. Harvey Barnes, right at the end, scoring his 8th goal against Leeds. And yeah, for the first time, I'm going to praise Howe. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Look, we will get on to Eddie Howe. Do not worry about that, because I think there's been rightfully questions over him, and I still think there is questions over him. Yes, I agree. King Kev would have definitely been proud of the lads last night. And, don't worry, we're going to get on a Barnes on the left and Gordon being on the right, because I'm sorry, it has to happen. Like, Harvey Barnes scored on the right, by the way. He did actually score when he was on the right, but we're talking about a player who he scored on the right, but actually the goal came from Gordon being on the right side of the box and doing really well for the build with the goal. He lays it in a Walter Marder. Walter Marder, little flick round the corner, and there's Barnes in the middle of the box to finish. And then on the left-hand side of the box, he scores the winner, and that's 9 goals for the season now for Harvey Barnes. Not a single penalty. If you take into account his form of 2025 as well, it was... No, I mean, it was freezing, wasn't it, to be fair? But it was exciting. It was so exciting, it really was. Yeah, Barnes much more of a threat at Gordon. Totally agree. The Leeds commentators have been going mental about Barnes. I'm not surprised they have. He has an unbelievable record against them. He has 8 goals now against Leeds in his career. So he got 5 in 6 for Leicester. And he also got another one when he was on loan at West Brom. And then he goes popped up for Newcastle as well with a double. And as I said, 9 goals for the season for Harvey Barnes. I am an unashamed Harvey Barnes advocate. I absolutely love the lad. I just adore direct wingers who their only thought whenever they get the ball is, how can I get this into the box, or how can I score a goal? And if you go back to the start of his time at Newcastle, he was never actually injured much at Leicester, had one bad injury, joins Newcastle, he got injured immediately. Then he scores that double against West Ham to win another game 4-3. Hello, Queen of Heart, afternoon to you. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. As I say, just get your comments in, and we will discuss this. And you might get Barnes tattoo. Oh, thank you. Still bad, Dad. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. A really big thanks to Chris for giving me the opportunity to do this. I really enjoyed my time on the show last week, and it's going to be great. I'm going to be doing at least one a week, hopefully 2. And then, yeah, exactly, Steve, totally right. Yeah, remember Peter complaining about Barnes, Maddison. No, Barnes is so much better than Maddison, honestly. Genuinely, he is so much better than Maddison in terms of, I think, his heart an effort, because I think that's something I don't always see from Maddison. The fact Barnes is willing to play on either wing for the team, even though we know he's not a right winger. We know he is. Toon Assassin, please go to Haran Kundi on Jack. We'd love to give up. Look, I'll see what I can do. It's early days, but they might be up for it. But yeah, look, Barnes delivers for Newcastle once more. Really does, and he's been doing it since 2025. All of last year, I thought he was fantastic, especially when he was out the team at the start. He comes in for the cup final, brilliant in the cup final, as everyone was, of course. But then he was unlucky to find himself shifted in the team when Gordon came back, got moved out sort of to the right wing. Murphy went to right wing back just to get Gordon into the team. What did Gordon do when he came back into the team? And what has Gordon done for the majority of 2025 to warrant him start getting the favoured left wing position for both of them? Surely it should be for what's better for the team. And all Barnes can do, Chow has come out and apologised. I was going to touch on Malik Chow, so why not? He had a stinker, didn't he? He really had a stinker. Into Yamar. Good name, I like it, fair enough. Do you think Barnes will get an England call-up? Look, you know what? Initially, I was joking about this, right? I was actually joking about this. I was like, yeah, I mean, look, if Gordon's on the left for England, then why isn't Barnes? But when you think about it, who's playing better and who has been playing better for a long time? It's Harvey Barnes. Who is delivering for their team in more games than he isn't? It's Harvey Barnes. I just think that genuinely, if Gordon is in the England team, there is no reason at all that Harvey Barnes should not also be in the England team. Like, we're talking about him going to Scotland, and I'm sorry. Well, one, I don't think that's a good idea for him because, he's English. I don't know if the Scotland fans would actually even appreciate. I know we obviously know he's a top class player, but I don't know if they'd actually appreciate him doing that. So it's one of those. I feel like genuinely he has an opportunity of getting in this England team. He is playing so well. He's scoring goals in the Champions League. He's scoring goals in the Premier League. He's changing games. He changed the game against Crystal Palace. I know he didn't get a goal or an assist in the match, but he did change the game against Crystal Palace, as Eddie Howe acknowledged. He gets to start on the right last night. As much as we were terrible for 25, 30 minutes, Barnes was still lively, still creating things. He put in numerous amounts of crosses. He had 4 shots, scored 2 goals. We're talking about a player who's in top form. Genuinely, we are talking about a player who is in top form. And do I think if Barnes had a bit of hair, and also thank you for the gift there. I just saw that pop in. Brilliant. So I think Barnes' hair is fantastic. It's class. He's got a good hairline as Harvey Barnes, and great teeth as well. He's a good looking chap. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's just, unfortunately, it's what Howe said. Gordon doesn't like playing on the right, so it means that Barnes plays on the right because Harvey's willing to do it. And those comments for me were so strange. So strange. Like, why did we think... Why does Eddie say that? Is that a warning to Gordon and he wants better performances? Is it actually just a sign of like, well, actually, I'm going to bow down to what Anthony Gordon wants because Gordon knows his only place in the England team is going to be on the left wing. He's not going to get in the right on the right-hand side, is he? So I just feel as if those comments were strange. And afternoon to a few more people coming in. Really appreciate everyone joining. And that's an interesting question. Does Harvey Barnes, thank you, Steve, does Harvey Barnes play this well because he's better rested than the others? Well, he does find himself getting moved in and out of the team a bit more than some of the others. But I just think he's a player who is... Would I, as a manager, bow down to Gordon? I'll answer that one in a little bit. But Barnes, I just think Barnes is just a player who's in great form and has always been a player who's gone a little bit under the radar in the sense of maybe he's not always involved in the game. So I get it. But in the final third, he comes alive. Really comes alive. And what do I want from my winger? Do I want my winger involved in all the build-up play, or do I want my winger putting in unbelievable crosses and scoring goals? I want my winger putting in unbelievable crosses and scoring goals. Would I bow down to Gordon? No, I would not bow down to Anthony Gordon. We saw him play on the right last season against Arsenal at home where we won 1-0, where he who shall not be named scored a fantastic header. It was a brilliant ball in by Anthony Gordon for that. And I've got to be honest, I would be 100% not bowing down to him. I'd stay, I'm sorry, the team's playing better with Barnes on the left. Barnes, you get the priority. If you want to play on the left wing, you're doing better, sunshine. You stay on the left. That's fine. Gordon, you're on the right, or you're out the team entirely. That's my view on it. I don't think we should be bound down to a player who I'm not sure will even be here next season. I feel like he's the most likely one of the big names to be sold. So I wouldn't be bound down to him at all. I would not be at all. And I've seen some other good comments here. And, just got to, of course, remind you all that make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, get involved in the live chat. We want to hear your thoughts on that. It's already great to see so many comments already. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to try and acknowledge basically all of them. And don't forget to become a member by joining NTTV Plus for £4.99. Some members were refunded due to recent price changes. Replies, please consider rejoining, and now includes all member perks and exclusive content. That's a great question. Sorry, Geordie Yam Yam. Do you think the setup of the midfield with all three playing as an 8 was Eddie Howe thinking Leeds was coming for the low block? Just seems we were too open for the counter-attack. Interesting question. And I think what happened is at half-time, Howe embraced the chaos of the game. And I think he accepted that this was going to be a basketball match and neither team were going to have too much control of it. And I think that was how the second half developed into what it was, because both teams suddenly had loads of space on the ball all of the time. And I think how back that our superior quality would tell. And in the end, it did, but also the grit and the determination told as well. This Newcastle team, especially away from home, has been questioned, their mentality. But I feel as if we're just starting to see signs in the last few weeks or so that they're getting into their stride, that they do in the second half of the season under Eddie Howe. We've seen this last season. We saw it the season Newcastle finished 4th. We saw it when Newcastle finished 7th, despite having about 14 players fit for the majority of it. So I think Toon Assassin, thank you very much. Yeah, £4.99 is a bargain for all these shows. Just have one less beer a month. Mate, £4.99 for a beer. Where are you going? I'm in London now, so £4.99, I cannot get a beer for that. So if you can point me in the direction, that would be fantastic. Yeah, Cuff 02. Yeah, totally. As I was saying about Gordon and Barnes, honestly, it's got to be Barnes on the left. It really has got to be Barnes on the left, Gordon on the right, and that's what it is. But as I say, with the midfield setup, yeah, I just think he kind of embraced the chaos of the game and backed our superior quality to tell the difference. And in the end, it did. Now, I've seen some comments about Lewis Miley, and I would be remiss to not talk about, and I've just seen a comment there from Ginger Hosking. Nice to have you on. I will answer that in a little bit because I really like that Matthias Marne, so I will answer that in a little bit. But Miley, I'm seeing some comments about Miley. This lad is incredible. This guy played last night right back, centre midfield, and then at the end of the game, when Cher went off injured, he was sat in at centre back. And I don't know about everyone else who was in the comments who are watching, but I thought centre back, he was top draw. It looked like he'd played that position his entire life. Miley at centre back alongside Botman, so calm, so composed, so cool. And I saw some comments on X and on Twitter and stuff saying that good players play well in any position they're in. So if you think about like a Reece James or a Moise Caicedo, so Caicedo's played right back a few times this season and he's looked absolutely $1 million. Declan Rice played right back for Arsenal, looked absolutely top draw. Declan Rice can play centre back. Declan Rice can play anywhere in midfield. It looks top draw. Miley is getting to these levels, and the role he played in the second goal was massive. Bruno overhit the pass to him, and he charged after it. He made sure he was like, I'm not letting this go out of play. He keeps it in, he plays it near Bruno, and then obviously the cross from Bruno was magnificent. He redeemed himself with that beautiful outside of the right foot ball, and there was Joe Linton to head in. But Lewis Miley has become one of our most important players. He's filled in so well at right back, and we are talking about a lad who I wouldn't say was written off last season, but I think people were certainly a bit concerned maybe over his physicality and the ability he had to get around the pitch. But and so far in the game so far, afternoon to Borky, how are you doing? Nice to have you on. Yeah, still bad. Miley's a rare talent. I heard that Bruno and J7 have taken him under their wings. Yeah, and I think they have. I think Miley was maybe a little bit shy. Well, he was 17-year-old little child when he came into the team. He was obviously a shy boy, but he's clearly grown into it massively. He's added goals contributions this season as well. 3 assists in all competitions as well. So Miley, I am loving the renaissance of Lewis Miley, and I said it. I said it in group chats that I'm in with mates. I said I think Miley's better than Anderson. Over the last season or so, I might have thought, okay, I might have got that one wrong. Anderson might be better than Miley. However, I'm now starting to think, you know what, I might be right. Miley might be better than Anderson. And I think England call-up is not far away for Lewis Miley because Thomas Tuchel will massively appreciate a player who can play in all of those positions and do anything he wants in those positions and look so comfortable. And his pass completion rate has been off the scale. 100% against Crystal Palace. I think in the last 4 games, he's only misplaced about 3% of his passes. And it's not they're all just sideways balls either. He's playing them forward. He's playing them diagonally. He just is an intelligent footballer and he knits everything together. And I think he's in our starting 11 no matter what. You've got to look at what he did at right back for us in these last few games. And Tino Livramento is a superb right back. I mean, he is an England international and will almost certainly have a chance of being England's right back for a long time. But Miley just filled in. We didn't miss him at all. We did not miss Tino at all, which I didn't ever think. Yeah, Jordy Yam, where Miley's playing, he's showing Tuchel a possibility of covering a variety of positions. Exactly. He's the Jordy Bellingham for the future. That's a great shout. Obviously, a little bit different player, but I know exactly what you mean in the sense of that he is that young talent who seems to have the world at his feet. And obviously, it's about managing him and managing his... And I thought that's what Eddie Howe did really well last season, to be fair, because he had quite a few injuries and we didn't overuse him. We probably underused him in fairness. But I think we're at the point now where he is at the physical level to play in the Premier League. And I think he's in Newcastle starting 11. I really do. I feel like in midfield at the moment, please say if you disagree with me, but I think Tonali's might be dropping out of the team, to be honest. I think he's just in bad form, by the way. I don't think it's... I'm not saying get rid of him, blah, 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 he's rubbish. I'm not saying that at all. Just think at the moment, Joe Linton's massively stepped up. Bruno is having a worldie of a season. He's a world-class player, but he is having a worldie of a season. And I think Miley, once Livramento is fully fit, I think you get Miley in that midfield, and you go with Miley, Bruno Guimaraes, and Joe Linton for at least a little bit. Yeah, and that's fair. I saw that as well. So Yeah, BK Bourne. Yeah, Miley has to be starting. 100% agree with you. Move Tonali to the left, place Miley in the 6. Miley can play the 6 as well. That's the thing. He looks so comfortable playing in that 6 role. In fact, I feel that is his position, to be honest. Oh, Tonali's wife has just had their child. Okay. Well, I didn't actually know that, but that also would explain maybe a few things. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing with Tonali. I think he's a wonderful footballer. I think last season he was one of easily the best midfielders in the Premier League. But actually, we might need to take him out the side. The whole point of this Newcastle team now should be there's competition for places in numerous areas of the pitch. And if you're not performing well, someone else will step in and take your spot. And I think Tonali is in a position where I maybe wouldn't be starting him, to be honest, at this moment in time. It's a bit of a strange one, I agree, but I probably wouldn't be starting him at this moment. It's interesting, isn't it? Because Tonali has been brilliant for us. Absolutely fantastic since he's come back from that suspension. World class performances week after week. Changed our season last year, I thought, when we took Longstaff out of the team and put him in the number 6 role. It changed everything. But Joe Linton's playing extremely well, and that's great to see. I love that. I love Joe Linton, one of my favourite players. The transformation that he's had is another level of impressive. Darren Lee, you're saying Sandro's head's been turned. Look, I don't think so, but I think you're fair to bring that up, because if we think about it with Tonali, his agent not being shy about the fact they would like to play back in Italy, especially back at AC Milan. But equally, I think the point maybe is dad is about becoming a dad. It's probably also been on his mind, and that's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I don't know how that's going to go. I feel like Tonali will stay for at least one more season. It's just at this moment in time, I probably wouldn't have him in the starting 11, which is odd, as I said, because we're talking about an unbelievable top player. But yeah, I feel like I maybe wouldn't have him in the starting 11. Yeah, Win. I agree. Yeah, I think you've got to maybe put more of the fact that the baby's been born. He's probably had that on his mind. So I am more than willing to give Tonali the time he needs to come back into the team 100% and come back to his top form. But I just think at the moment, maybe I'd go with, Darren, Juventus. It's interesting. Juventus don't have the money for him at all. They don't have the money for him at all. They do not have the fee to sign Sandro Tonali. Newcastle can demand 100 million for Sandro Tonali minimum, because of how long he's got left in his contract. 2029 with that secret deal that he signed, and also his performances last year were, as I said, he should have been in the Premier League team of the season. I don't know how he wasn't, but I just think. Yeah, I just think maybe the baby's a good point. I didn't really consider that, but I think that's actually a good point. So thank you to everyone else who's pointed that out in the chat, because Tonali is such an important player for Newcastle United. So massive for us. But at the moment, I don't think he starts. I call Miley, Joe Linton, and Guimaraes. Of course, we've got a lot of games coming up, so rotation, etc. It's going to mean we're going to have to make some... They're all going to get plenty of minutes anyway. And I saw a good comment about, have we played well? I just got the results, so I didn't see who it was from, but I did see it. So let's talk about that a little bit then. Have we played well the last 3 games? No, we have not. I think against Crystal Palace, we were good for the last 20 minutes of the game when Barnes and Ramsey came on. So I think that, when Barnes and Ramsey came on, they changed the game, and we had a really strong last 20 minutes. Palace didn't really have another opportunity after that. I thought the game before that was Palace actually played really well, and they won the ball out the field loads of times. And that's a good question about Callum Wilson. I will address that one. I'll address that one as well in a little bit. And then Ginger Hosking is not the fact a lot of players after Isak left are not questioning where we are going. Oh yeah, no, we can also talk about that. Oh, let's just talk about them now. So Callum Wilson is leaving West Ham already because they've decided to sign Pablo. Yeah, I don't know who he is either. Some Portuguese striker. I mean, I saw his debut. I don't know if anyone watched the game that they played against Nottingham Forest, and he is the slowest man I have ever seen kick a professional football. I mean, there was a point where he won the ball back off Elliot Anderson, who had a pretty poor game, and he was running at full speed to get in the box, and it looked like he was going backwards. And then he had Bowen in space screaming to the right, like, give me the ball, I'm the man, obviously. And he's blasted it over the bar from 16 yards out. It was an absolutely horrendous effort at goal from Pablo. And then they've just signed Tati Castellanos, who Lazio fans were begging, pleading to get him out of the club. So West Ham have just blown about 40 million quid on two absolute, probably terrible strikers when their centre-backs are an absolute mess. And Callum Wilson has been informed by Nuno Espirito Santo that he is no longer required, despite the fact he's their top goal scorer this season, and has stayed fit. And if Asuna's going to go to Eintracht Frankfurt or potentially Aston Villa, which is what Alex Crook, my colleague at talkSPORT, understands is a possibility. Aston Villa are interested in Sula. So if that were to happen, then we've got Visser and Waldemada, two very different strikers, and I really like the contrast between them both. But Callum Wilson is guaranteed goals. I wouldn't be against it, and he does love Newcastle. We all know how much he... Yeah, that's a good shout, Darren. Going back to Coventry to work under Frank Lampard. You know what? That'd actually be a lovely move for Callum Wilson. That'd be a really nice move for Callum Wilson. If he got that move back to Coventry, got them promoted to the Premier League, how nice would that be? That'd actually be really good. So that'd be interesting. But I do think if Wilson were to come back, I don't think that'd be a bad shout at all. I think Wilson coming back would be a decent move for Newcastle. If Asula's going to go, and if West Ham don't think I think he's surplus requirements. But Darren, what a shout to say that he could go to Coventry. Look, Toon Assassin disagrees. Yeah, agree with his injury record. We all know what his injury record was like, but it's one of those, isn't it? It's because it'd be a third striker. I'm saying it'd be a third striker, and he has stayed fit this season. That's been the key thing. He has stayed fit this season. If we're going to get him on a free, I don't think it'd be the end of the world. But I totally agree why some people are totally against that. I understand that. Unfortunately, last season, Callum Wilson was not the Callum Wilson that we all knew and love and revered so highly at Newcastle. He was at St James's Park. But this year, he has been decent. I think the shout of going to Coventry is actually really good. I really like that one, to be fair. And there was another comment that I just missed. So let me find that. Sorry. Yeah, Ginger Hosking saying, is it not the fact a lot of players after Isak left questioning where we are going? Remember, a lot of players feel like. Yeah, Yeah, Mane. Yeah, Matthias Mane. Sorry, there was even another question about Matthias Mane, wasn't there? So, this guy looks class. This Matthias Mane looks class. 18-year-old English lad. And what I loved about it last night is after his goal he scored against Everton, is he immediately, in his interview, said, I belong here. I belong here. I know I'm good enough to play in the Premier League. I belong here. I love that attitude. In a team like Wolves, who are going to go down, it's just how badly they go down. And they've got a guy who, when the rest of them have got no confidence, and the rest of them have got no belief in their ability, they've got a young kid who's like, give me the ball. Give me the ball. I will do something. I will do something. And Matthias Mane is a player who a lot of teams are going to be almost certainly looking at in the summer. And Newcastle could have a look at him. I don't know. I think it'd be a great sign if we could somehow get him. And then that's an interesting one. And then another one from Ginger Hosking as well. You asked about the fact that players questioning over Isak. Look, it's an interesting one, that one, because we know the dressing room is a little bit split in the sense of there was public support from Botman and Gordon. Meanwhile, players like Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton, etc., said nothing and almost kind of, well, indicated in their interviews sort of afterwards that they only care about having players who actually want to be at Newcastle. I believe that that's not an issue anymore. Equally, if we don't get European football this season, we don't, and we maybe say we go out the FA Cup this weekend, don't make the final, then players probably will start questioning and wondering about the ambition of the club and maybe what they were sold initially when they joined. And that's just unfortunately the nature of the beast. And if we do lose, we are going to lose players along the way. That is the case of it. But you'd hope that even if one season without Europe, most of them would stick around and think, yeah, you know what, we're on the right path here. This is going in the right direction. There's no need to leave now. There's no need to dip out of it now. So I think that's an absolutely fair point. And would I bring what centre back would I bring to Newcastle in this window? That's from Tango NUFC. Thank you very much, Darren. Yeah, our target has to be trying to win the FA Cup. I totally agree. I think the FA Cup would be the one that we need to go. No, Toon, that's fine. Toon Assassin, that's fine. This is the difference between the easy, cushy talk sport work and a proper fan channel. We will call it out. Nah, it's all right. I love the debate. It's brilliant. It's great. I'm loving all the interaction. It's fantastic. FA Cup, I think Newcastle should be all in. And Bruno Guimaraes has already said that, actually, in a couple of interviews earlier this season. He said that that's the next thing he wants to win. It's a shame we've got Bournemouth at home, which, of course, we all know that Eddie Howe has like an allergic reaction of being able to beat. Can't beat them at all. I mean, you only won once, and that was in the Carabao Cup, and it was on penalties, so it wasn't actually in normal time. But, oh no, we won 1-0. I think Almiron scored. So, Bournemouth is an interesting one at the weekend. I would expect us to win. They are losing Semenyo. He's going to Manchester City, and Cliver is injured. So I would expect us to win, and we can take it seriously as well. And yeah, so the FA Cup's a really interesting one. Getting a few more questions. So Toon Assassin, do I think Ross Wilson has no choice now and has to get a defender? Yeah, so before the window, I think most people would have said, can we have a backup left back who's actually a left back? Because if Lewis Hall gets injured again, I can't have Dan Burn at left back. I just can't. I actually can't. But with suddenly Lewis Miley being incredible at right back, you could switch Tino at left back and put Miley at right back in, even if you want to rotate. So that was probably a left back. Now, Cher, that injury didn't look good. Burns going to be back soon. Botman came on. He looked very rusty. Very rusty. I don't know what he was doing for the Brendan Aronson goal. He got nowhere near him. It was like, close him down, son. I know you're not the quickest guy, but like, close him down. Don't let him have a shot from inside the box. So Botman and Cher. And then Chow's been amazing. Look, he had an off night. It's fine. He's apologised. I don't know why he even felt he had the need to apologise, by the way, because he's been unbelievable for us as Malik Chow. He's such a great player. But he has an off night. It's fine. He apologised for it. We move on. A centre-back is probably going to have to be... And it almost... I would even do it not even just thinking about this season. I think I would do it thinking about coming up, because Burns getting older, Cher's out of contract, Botman is absolutely class, but we can't rely on him staying fit. I mean, the guy has been injured since September 2023, basically consistently, and hasn't really strung a good run of games together. He looked brilliant at the start of this year. He looked fantastic at a few points last season, and then he got injured again. So, yeah, I think if we're going to get a centre-back in, which is a great shout, I think it would be a case of planning for next season. It's got to be planning for next season, I think. to be honest. So yeah, that's where I haven't really got any names. I mean, Tapsoba we've been linked with before, the Bayer Leverkusen centre back plays for Burkina Faso. I really like him. He's very good. He's right-sided again. We're probably looking for a left-sided one in truth, because Chow is the right-sided one. So we are looking for a left-sided one for either a long-term Botman replacement or a long-term Burn replacement. You know, Gahey's an obvious one, but we're not going to sign Gahey. So he's going to have a choice of any club he wants in the world, probably, in the summer when he goes on a free transfer. Seen some comments about the FA Cup here, and another one from Ginger asking about a goalkeeper, and we can definitely talk about that. Yeah, so I think about Jordy Yam Yam. Listen to your Toon show on talkSPORT. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'll give that a little plug in a bit. But yes, yeah. Look, it's interesting, the FA Cup and Carabao Cup debate, isn't it? Because Carabao Cup's obviously earlier in the season, so if you're still in it now, that probably needs to be the focus, doesn't it? And I think it will be. I think Howe will believe that we can win it again. I think if you look at the game next week against Manchester City at St James's Park, we are unbeaten in 11 at St James's Park. The other two were 2-2 draws against Chelsea and Tottenham, which we should have won as well. So we should have 11 wins from 11 actually at St James's Park since that defeat to Arsenal. And City have a horrendous lack of defensive options. They recall some lad, Max Allen from Watford, to hoy him straight into the team for his Premier League debut. That was the first game he played for Manchester City last night in the 1-1 draw against Brighton. And Brighton should have won. They had massive opportunities. Diego Gomez missed an open goal, essentially, at 1-1. Yeah, so we can 100% beat Manchester City at St James's Park. Absolutely. The question we're going to have is if we're going to make it through to the next round is how many goals, if we win the game, how many goals do we take as a lead to the Etihad? Because say if we win 2-1, like we did in the league game, I don't think that'll be enough, simply because by the time we play them again, Diaz will probably be back. They'll probably have a new centre-back because they're definitely going to sign someone. And our record at the Etihad is embarrassing. I mean, we couldn't even win there when they were bad. So I feel as if we're going to get through that match, it all totally depends on how that first game goes. If we take a 2-goal lead to the Etihad, say we win 3-1 at St James's Park next week, and as long as you get an early goal at the Etihad, I think we'll get through. I mean, we're going to be playing Arsenal. There is no way they are not beating Liam Rosenior's Chelsea. I mean, this Chelsea team is terrible. They've got no discipline. They seem to flit from game to game, poor performance. They have no real defensive structure. Rosenior's got a massive job on his hands. I think it's too big for him, to be honest. It seems like a decent coach and a decent bloke, but I think that job seems too big for him. I think Arsenal will easily beat them, probably by, I'd say, maybe 3 goals over the course of the 2 legs combined. So we'll be playing Arsenal in the final, and then, we can beat Arsenal because we've got Eddie Howe's got a strange sort of hoodoo over Mikel Arteta, but equally Arsenal are a bit different this season. No, I totally agree, Claire. Wish we'd drawn Chelsea as well. That would have been great, wouldn't it? I think we would have easily made it into the final, to be honest. Yeah, Trules, we need to be at least 3 goals up in the home game against City to have a chance to go to the final. Hope I'm wrong though. Yeah, 3. I'd say 2 goals is enough as long as you then score at least once at the Etihad. If you don't score a goal at the Etihad, then no, you're probably struggling, aren't you? Realistically, to get through. So definitely wish we'd drawn Chelsea though. Totally agree with that. And yeah, we're getting some transfer talk. So shopping list for January: goalkeeper, centre back, right winger. That's from Tango and NUFC, and a creative midfielder. Well, so 4 players in January. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure we're going to have 4 players in January. But I think a centre back, I think a goalkeeper will wait until the summer. I think Aaron Ramsdale was a sticky plaster over the situation after missing out on James Trafford, which I've been critical about for Newcastle numerous times. I don't think that James Trafford. I think that Newcastle should have signed James Trafford. It was a mistake not to. And equally, I feel as if we're in a position where the right winger situation's interesting because Murphy's not playing that well. Thought he made an impact again against Leeds last night. Thought he did well. Really good cross. Well, a few really good crosses in the box, as we expect from Jacob Murphy. He didn't lose possession as much as usual, so that was good. Alanga's a tricky one. The guy's just struggling really, really badly, and I think he just needs to go back to basics and actually just use his pace, get to the byline, just whip some crosses in the box. Even if they're not, even if they're not very good initially, just keep doing it, keep taking your man on, keep getting the byline, keep putting crosses in the box, keep getting men at the near post if that's where they're going. Give the guy a chance. So I think a right wing is. I think for me it'll be a centre back, and I think it should be a long-term centre back if we're going to sign one, and a backup left back for January. And I think a creative midfielder. I've spoke about this as well, and I agree because I think in some away games we don't. I don't know. It's different away to at home. At home, I feel like we don't necessarily always need the actual number 10 because of the way we play at home. But away from home, when we're against a low block, we seem to just pass the ball around forever. So Jindoskin asking, selling Isak, the board have a duty to make our squad better before we get the knock. Yeah, they do. I think that the squad is better than it was actually from selling Isak. I think the squad's better. The argument is the starting 11 better, and it isn't. And Malik Chow, although he has massively improved the starting 11, wasn't signed, I don't think, to improve the starting 11 straight away. I think the plan would have still been probably Botman, actually Byrne had a great end of the season, so Sharon Byrne probably would have been the centre-back partnership, and then Chow eventually comes in, but he has massively improved the starting 11. But the only player we've signed in recent years who has improved the starting 11 immediately is Sandro Tonali. And that's it. The rest of the team is basically the same. Lewis Hall has grown into that, wasn't signed as that. Tino Livramento again, grown into that, wasn't signed as that. So there needs to be someone who just comes in and raises the ceiling in the team. I don't know if that's going to be January because it's such a difficult window, but definitely Keith Smith we have been linked with. I think he looks like a top player. Really, really good footballer. Saw him actually against Crystal Palace. I went to watch them play AZ Alkmaar in the Conference League, and he was brilliant. Tall, rangy Dutch midfielder. Didn't really lose a pass. Real Madrid are interested as well. So, if they make a move in January, are Newcastle going to have a chance of getting him? I don't know. Probably not. If Real Madrid are coming in for him as well. So that's just where we are. Newcastle do have money to spend, 100%. Yeah, no, I know you're saying they're a good winger because we spent 160 million. Yeah, Newcastle have spent a lot of money. Most of the transfers have been good, and I know this might not be popular with a lot of people. I'm willing to give Anthony Elanga time because I've seen it with Lewis Hall. I saw it with Gordon. And if you read articles about Eddie Howe, his methods take a while to adjust to, and equally, he's not actually got that much time on the training field at the moment because we're playing so many games. So I am willing to give Anthony Elanga time. Yes, I think he should be much better, equally because he had the whole of pre-season as well, by the way. So it wasn't like he signed late on in the transfer window. We got him in quite early. Pretty sure he played the first pre-season game against Celtic, so he played every single one. So I expect more from him, but I am willing to give him time because I saw at Nottingham Forest how good of a footballer he can be. So, no, yeah, Toon is asking about Keith Smith. Yeah, he wants game time. Real will not give him that. Yeah, we could 100% give him more game time than Real Madrid. It's just, I think, as a footballer, Real Madrid trump everything. I don't think there's any other club that anyone would play for. Borky, thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate it. A 55 million we got. Yeah. No, you're totally right. We need a league keeper. Gavin Fuller saying we need a league keeper if we want to go at the top. Trafford. Yeah, look, I understand I understand that my argument on Trafford's not always popular. And then another would be Farmer saying, at what point do you give up on Alanga, give up on Ramsey, give up on anyone? Sometimes patience is the best virtue. Yeah, I totally agree. Ramsey is, by the way, I love Jacob Ramsey. I've always really enjoyed him at Aston Villa. I see him as like a massive upgrade on Joe Willock. He's just not getting in the team much that moment. But I feel like when he comes on in most games, he has an impact. He's always passing forward. I'd like to see him getting more goal scoring positions. And then I think if he starts having some goals for his game, which is exactly what he was at Aston Villa, he's a guy who arrives in the box late and scores goals, then I think we'll see the best of Jacob Ramsey. But no, yeah, Claire, this is a great point. This blows away the Premier League proven argument that these players come straight in and hit the ground running. Totally agree. I do totally agree. They don't. They sometimes don't. I mean, Malik Chow has hit the ground running massively. He had a bad game against Leeds. It happens. But he hit the ground running. He's been an unbelievable Malik Chow. One of the best centre-backs in the league. Not even a doubt in my mind that he's been one of the best centre-backs in the league so far this season. And Walter as well. I understand when we're watching Walter that I don't think it was his best game, by the way, last night. He got an assist. Really. And he's such a clever footballer because that was it looks easy, but a lot of players would have overhit it or not even actually put the right weight on it. But it was perfect for Harvey Barnes to run onto and slam into the back of the net. It was a deft flick from Walter. Apart from that, I don't think he was at his best. But I still don't think we really know how to play with him. I think with Vista, it's very much, again, a bit like having Isak up front again, in the sense of he is on the last line of the defender at all times. He's getting in the box all of the time. So when our players get in a position to cross it, they are just sending it into the area. With Waldemar, he's not necessarily in there, so we need players to run beyond him, and we haven't quite worked that out yet. So that's where I'm at with the Waldemar and Chow thing. Equally, yeah, the players we've signed from the Premier League have not delivered. I think Visser will, and I think he is showing signs to me that he's going to score a lot of goals for Newcastle. I thought he was a bit unlucky last night before the Barnes winner, where he read off the corner. It dropped to him about 12 yards out and he just slipped over. I think any other time he finds the back of the net and he scores the winning goal rather than Barnes. But I think we've been clever with Visser as well by taking time with him and letting him have that time to come back, get match fit, because he's made an instant impact and he has 2 goals already this season. And I think he is looking like going to be a good signing in the end. Look, the money massively overpaid for him. So Claire, yeah, glad Eddie took Chow off at half time as his head had got. Yeah, no, totally agree. Look, so the first goal was, I don't even know what that was. Honestly, I don't know what that was. He just fell over. I've not seen that happen. That was strange. He just fell over. It was bizarre. And then Calvert-Lewin plays it into Brendan Aronson. It's a great finish from Aronson, to be fair. Who's a player Leeds fans have criticised for a long time. But he looked quality last night. He played really well. Obviously, give away the penalty, but he played really well. And he just fell over, Chow. And then there was other times he was just giving the ball away to no one. And for the handball, I mean, what do we think of the handball? I was watching it over and over again. I was just so confused at what happened. I don't know how he ended up in that position. He was saying he got pushed by Calvert-Lewin. And it looked like Calvert-Lewin leaned into him a little bit. But he just again, it seemed like he just fell over. And as he's fallen over, he's punched the ball, essentially. It was, yeah, Darren, yeah, that wasn't a pen for a player losing his balance. Yeah, he did just fall over. I mean, the referee had a really, really poor game. Really poor game. But yeah, that was just odd. It was strange. And Chow's come out and apologised, and I think we can all just absolutely move on. He will be fine. He is being taught for Newcastle. Bit of a Rolls Royce, to be fair, at the back for us. goal threat as well. 3 goals this season. And I just think, a few people are saying the same thing, that it was a harsh handball. Yeah, I thought it was. I was saying I just didn't really understand what happened. It was so strange. I mean, the first goal is totally his fault. I genuinely have no idea what happened there. That was weird. That was so weird. He just literally slips and slides. Yeah, Gene Joskin talking about every side is going to mark Waldemar out the game for now. He's not going to get anything. Yeah, I think with Waldemar, the lack of pace in the Premier League can be an issue. But his technique does make up for it. It's just that when he's coming to play his little flicks and tricks and stuff, the players aren't reading it and they're not getting on the end of it. So it just looks like then he's losing the ball, but he's trying something to get. And then the thing what I've noticed with Waldemar is once he plays that little flick, he then does get into the box and he's always in space to then get a shot away. But we haven't just worked it out yet. So maybe at the moment, Visser should start because it's just a bit more like having Isak up front in the sense of a striker who we all know is just going to be on the last line. He's not really getting involved in build-up play that much. That's fine. He'll press and he'll be in the box. And maybe that'll be the way forward, I think. In terms of, there's been some, we've gone way off tangent, but that's great. I love that. There's been some great questions. Really appreciate it. Just a reminder from me, I've just got my X thing down there, so drop me a follow on X, that'd be great. Always try and get as much Newcastle stuff as I can and what have you, and obviously I'll follow all of you back as well. But yeah, that'd be brilliant. And then equally, of course, on talkSPORT, I've got the Inside the Toon podcast as well, which is going to be weekly from next Friday, and that would all appreciate you all checking that out as well. That's talkSPORT's Newcastle show with me, Ollie Clink, Sean Custis, and guests, and that's our just my way of trying to give Newcastle fans actual good content from Newcastle supporters on talkSPORT. And we've had a decent start to it, but because it's gone weekly, got a nice new sponsorship deal with BetMGM, and that'd be brilliant. Of course, remember to smash the like button here and subscribe to NTTV, which is $4.99 for members as well. So yeah, if you could all do that, I'd be really appreciable. Nearly an hour in, and it's absolutely flown by. Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, Claire, yep, you do need to watch the Newcastle talkSPORT show. It's just type in Inside the Toon or go to the talkSPORT Newcastle YouTube channel and it should be on there. But just type in Inside the Toon and Harpeye, Kalski, Simon Jordan. Unfortunately, I can't pull that string. Jason Cundy and O'Hara, maybe. Simon Jordan, I don't think so. But yes, no, but I was saying, an hour in, absolutely flown by. This has, and where do we go from here then? So January, I think we all accepted, was a huge month for Newcastle. You know, there still is the potential, by the way, of us being out of the Champions League, out of the FA Cup, and basically out of the Carabao Cup. But I don't see it. I feel like results are turning around and the Premier League suddenly looking incredible. I mean, we're above Sunderland now, so mind the gap, as they've been saying all season. Mind the gap to them lads. After they got beat 3-0 by Brentford, and you want to see Enzo Lefebvre's penalty? That was good, wasn't it? Cheeky Panenka straight at the goalkeeper. Very funny. But equally, we're 6th in the Premier League. And if you go back to after the Manchester United game, which was extremely disappointing. It was extremely disappointing, wasn't it? Extremely disappointing result. Extremely disappointing performance. And I think there was a lot of people who were close to being maybe Eddie Howe out, and there still might be some people who are, because I don't think performances have been massively impressive, but the results have, and the team are fighting for him. The team are absolutely fighting for him. I saw that last night. I saw that against Palace. I saw that against Burnley, where even though Burnley were hugely on top for large parts of the game, Newcastle dug in. They really threw their bodies on the line. They weren't playing well, but they still managed to get the 3 points. And then equally, it was the first time that this season we've come back behind a win. So before that, it was 0 points picked up from losing positions. And then, of course, in classic Newcastle style, it's 3 points. And it's 3 points from losing positions. And it came from the latest winner in Premier League history, the latest winger on Premier League record, Harvey Barnes. Isn't that the most Newcastle thing ever? And of course, on the day that we found out about Kevin Keegan being diagnosed with cancer, which is extremely sad day for everyone connected with Newcastle United, a legend, one of the club's biggest legends, both as player and manager, getting everyone to dream in the 90s. It was a fitting game for Keegan. I'm sure he would have enjoyed it wherever he was watching. It was a classic entertainer's game. You score 3, we'll score 4, and we'll actually score the latest goal in Premier League history. So that was a tribute to Keegan. I thought the actual whole way that respect was paid to Kevin Keegan ahead of the game was absolutely magnificent. And equally, Eddie Howe's comments afterwards also were classy, as you would expect from Eddie. Definitely that's literally that's what it was, wasn't it? And I think we're suddenly 6th, and our next game is Wolves away in the Premier League. Now, Wolves have turned it around a little bit. Good result against Everton last night. Everton were down to 9 men, but equally down to 9 men for a little bit of time. And Tango, you loved my Carabao Cup reaction. Oh, thank you very much, mate. That was that. Yeah, it was. It was just unbelievable. It was such a incredible experience to get to do that, and then the night out afterwards was legendary. I got in at 9. No, I fell asleep in the spoons in the gate at about 9 p.m. Monday night after getting up Sunday 8 a.m. So I think pretty legendary night out. I think after finally winning the trophy, I think, and I was still wearing the blue Newcastle shirt as well. So I really appreciate that, Tango. Love that. Yeah, Everton are rubbish. Yeah, rubbish to be fair. I mean, they've been slapped at home by us, despite the fact we hadn't won an away game, and Brentford have slapped them as well. And Brentford, although they're 5th, they're like us, can only play at home, so they slapped Everton up. So Wolves have picked up, though. They looked better against Arsenal. They looked better against Liverpool. They beat West Ham. I mean, don't get us wrong. No worries, but they still beat West Ham. I think, to be honest, when I saw Wolves were playing West Ham at home, I was like, yeah, Wolves will actually win that game. So this will not be easy, but equally, I would expect Newcastle to go there, and then we're sitting on 30. If we win that, it's 12 points from 12 and won 35 points. And wow, honestly, just another level of how has the season turned around already, just like that. And it's another thing where, is it another season where we're clicking a gear in the second half of the year? Is it that? It does feel like it could be. Because as I said, the performance has been great, but they are getting the results, and they are showing fighting spirit in every game, and players are improving their performances. Maybe not team performances overall are improving, but in terms of individual performances, they are going up. So I've obviously spoke about Miley, I've spoke about Barnes. I think Joe Linton needs a mention, because I was very much in the camp at the start of the season when I was watching him against West Ham, Brentford, even some of the home games we won. I was there for the Forest game, thought he's pretty poor on that. And then Wolves at home, it seemed as if it had gone from him a little bit. It felt as if it had gone. Yeah, it did seem to me as if Joe Linton had lost that spark and that drive and that energy that made him such a key player for us for so long. And his passing's never been the best, has it? But equally, it's better than it was. It is better than it was. But just in the last sort of 3 games or so, I think we're getting the old Joe Linton back. Thought against Burnley, great finish for the goal. Confidence came back, but then off the ball, he was everywhere. He was all over the place. Against Crystal Palace, he was basically playing like a new centre-back at some points, making some crucial interceptions, blocks on the edge of the area, tackles on the edge of the area when Palace were looking dangerous. And then he was doing what he does best, where he just gives it to someone who can pass the ball a bit better. And then last night, great header. What a header. Really, really good. I mean, brilliant ball in by Bruno. And there's Joe Linton glancing at it. He's getting shoved in the back by Rodon. And he just glances it in off the post. Brilliant finish. I mean, so good. And then you could... I thought it was, to be fair, yeah, totally agree, Claire. I thought he was going to get sent off. I thought he was going to get sent off after the dive. It was a dive. I thought the referee had a bad game, but it was a dive. I mean, what is he doing? Like, he's massive. He's huge. He's a massive bloke. And he's just throwing himself on the floor as he gets in the box. And I'm like, come on, man. You're better than that. You don't need to... And then, Tonali, fair play to him. I thought Joe Linton was going to kill the referee. Right? I was like, oh, afternoon, Brian. Nice to have you on. Thank you for joining. But I thought Joe Linton was going to kill the referee. Thank you to Tonali for calming him down and stopping it out. So somehow Joe Linton's still on the pitch. He scored a great goal. And you think, oh, Eddie, so Toon Assassin, big Joe down, head needs to be in a better place. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I feel like Joe Linton's his best when he plays on the edge, but last night he nearly went over it, so that's a fair point. Harpeye Kelsey, are you aware of the other Miley spawns? Oh, well, there is this thing, isn't there, where the other Mileys are meant to be better than Lewis. I mean, if they are, we are cooking. We are absolutely going to be on fire if we got the Mileys all in the team. And if they're all playing different positions like Lewis, well then, bring it on. But yeah, I thought Joe Linton had a brilliant game. Really, really good. Really nice to see. And then Bruno. I mean, this guy is already a Newcastle legend, no matter what happens from here. But the fact that he was not playing well, I don't think he was playing well. I thought first half he was really poor, kept giving the ball away. Even for the second goal, initially, his pass to Miley is bad. It's only a far pass, and he puts it basically out into the corner flag, and Miley does really well to get it and play it back into him. But then, as soon as he put that cross in for Joe Linton, everything changed for Bruno. He was on fire again. And he was just top draw. He was absolutely top draw was Bruno. And when your penalty taker's off the pitch, Gordon, and the other penalty taker, Walton, was off the pitch, the captain steps up. You know, from Bruno's penalties, I do remember him missing one a few years ago. So I was like, oh, I don't know about this one. But he just sat the goalkeeper down. He slots it in. He gets the ball back. He's got 8 goals this season, 5 assists. So it is already his best goal scoring season in his career. And he's becoming an all-action midfielder. You know, he's absolutely top draw, really is Bruno Guimaraes. He is top draw. As I said, like, he embodies what Newcastle United are. Absolutely embodies what Newcastle United are and gets it. And he doesn't need to get it. He's a Brazilian lad. He played for Lyon for a bit. But he totally... Yeah, no, I totally agree. The run-up, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But you know what? Fair play to him. He sat him down. It went in. And it's great, isn't it? So, Lance asking the question, if you think, which I do, that Barnes is better than Gordon this year and should be our left-sided winger, then would you drop Gordon for the English squad for Barnes? Yes. Genuinely, yes. This is not. I'm not even joking here. Yes, I absolutely would. Initially, I thought no, but now I'm like, nah. That is what I'd be doing. I'd be dropping. Gordon from the England squad for Harvey Barnes, because if you look at the stats, they're actually really similar. But Gordon's are mostly penalties, and I do not want to totally dismiss that. I think it's crucial to have someone who can rely on to take penalties, especially when Newcastle do get quite a few. So it's crucial to have someone I can rely on to get penalties and score penalties. But Barnes scores all of his goals from open play. All of his goals are from open play, and he can do left foot, right foot. And the fact that he's willing to play on either side, even though he knows he's not better on the right, shows he's a team player. And for me, I've always been a huge Harvey Barnes fan. Always, when we signed him from Leicester, I was absolutely buzzing, because at Leicester he's one of my favourite Premier League wingers. I just love players who are direct and score goals, and also loads of his goals are really nice. I know that's not important, but they are really good. Seeing him cutting in from the left and whipping it in the top corner, that's class. I love that. So I think Barnes should 100% be starting. If Gordon's playing for England, then Barnes should be. Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, no one will even call it for it though, or whatever. But I'm not joking with this. I think that's genuinely the truth, to be honest. Really do. So a quick reminder to like and subscribe, get involved in the chat, join NTTV Plus for £4.99 for full member access. If you were refunded recently, please make sure you've rejoined. So, yeah, look. And now Newcastle are in a position where the season is looking up. It is looking up. Now, the league table is odd. It is so odd. So from 16th, which is Leeds United, to Liverpool, there is 10 points. From Liverpool to Arsenal, there is 14 points. And that just shows you what this league table has been about. Arsenal, the only team who've strung together any consistency. And that's why they're top of the table. That's not the only reason they're top of the table, but the consistency is a massive part. They've managed to just find a way to win, even when not playing well. No other teams have really managed to do that. Manchester City don't convince me at all, especially defensively. They look all over the place majority of the time. They're too reliant on Haaland. And yes, Semenyo will score goals 100%. But, I mean, yeah, Brentford in 5th, exactly, Claire. So, the league table is very strange. And despite the fact we've been speaking about how poor we've been in the Premier League this season, we find ourselves 6th in the league and in a position whereby if we take it, we could really have a very strong end to the year and even get back in those Champions League places, where initially it looked like that was potentially not even on the cards. But the way the team have scrapped and battled, yes, I think that we would have all probably said we need probably minimum 7 points from these 3 games. And then if you take into account Wolves next, 10 points. You've still got to do it. And they have done it. So would-be farmer asking Gordon, who I'm starting to loathe, did make some contributions last night, is flick for 1 goal. Yeah, and his step-by delivery, yeah, that was decent. But I think my thing with... got a Manchester City fan. Reinders, Ford and Cherky. And now Semenyo chips in. Who scores for Newcastle? Your centre-halves. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? No, look, Reinders has scored a few. To be fair, I love Ryan Cherky. I think he's a wonderful footballer and really enjoy watching him because he is just a free talent and we're going to have to shackle him. Semenyo will bang goals in as well. I love Semenyo. I just think that City are still a little bit too reliant on Haaland, and it is defensively that is the mainly their issue. Where I do think that we have a chance next week to hopefully take a decent lead to the Etihad, because that's what we're going to need. We're going to need a decent lead. But the Gordon and Barnes thing is going to come up time and time again. You know, well done, Chuck Bennett, for asking the question in the press conference before the game about Gordon and Barnes. I didn't like Howe's answer. I don't think many fans liked Howe's answer about the fact that Gordon likes to play on the right, so he gets to play. Likes to play on the left, so he gets to play on the left. He doesn't like playing on the right. I don't. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Oh, so Hoppy Kelsey asking about Justin Cliver. He's injured, so he is not going to be playing. He's had to go and undergo surgery. I don't know what the injury is, but I know that he is out on Saturday. And MCFC Pappy. Yeah, it was end to end that game. You did have chances. You could have arguably had a penalty, I suppose. The Foden share one. Haaland tried to chip Pope, got it wrong. I thought Newcastle deserved to win. To be fair, the game at St James's Park. Semenyo will make a difference, 100%. But he is probably cup tied. Actually, I didn't even think about that. He almost certainly will probably be cup tied. He might have played against. He might have played already for Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup. So I will have to check that. But Semenyo might not be playing next week. Oh, that's great. That's brilliant, because Semenyo tore us apart last season at St James's Park. So we'll have to see how that goes as well. Yeah, the Barnes thing. There you go. Yeah, brilliant. Nice one, Toon Assassin. Thank you very much for confirming that he is cup tied. That's great. Look, but yeah, I didn't like those comments. I think that Gordon, who's meant to be a team player, meant to be a mentality monster, should be willing to put himself on the right if Barnes is playing better on the left. If not, if you're not willing to play on the right, then don't play then, because he's not doing it for me. He hasn't been doing it for a long time, which is a shame. I want him to play well. It's not that I don't want him to play well, but he isn't playing well. He isn't playing well, Gordon. He's not playing well. He's not playing well for ages. So that's where I'm at with the Gordon Barnes situation. That's literally where I'm at with the Gordon Barnes situation, honestly, because I feel as if what more does Harvey Barnes need to do to prove to everyone that he's better on the left? Stick him on the left. Yeah, that's just where I'm at with it. I think that's just where we've got to be with it. So, I mean, it's difficult. I want Gordon to play well. He's not playing well. Got to do something. Got to do something about it. And what more does he need to do exactly, Geordie Dan? What more does Harvey Barnes need to do to start on the left for Newcastle United? Genuinely, what more does he need to do to start on the left for Newcastle? Nothing. There's nothing else he needs to do. This is the position whereby he should be. And Geordie Yam is asking, has anyone heard anything about Cher? Yep, so ankle injury, went to hospital. Nothing else confirmed as of yet. So, anyone heard anything about Cher? Yeah, that's all we know so far. Gone to hospital, house it looked bad, and that's it. So, at Cuff saying Gordon's never refused to play right wing, just said he prefers left wing. If anyone deserves flack for those comments and keeping Gordon left wing over Barnes, then it's Howe, not Gordon. No, I agree. I thought the comments were not good from Eddie Howe. The fact that he said Gordon prefers to play on the left rather than and then he said he doesn't like playing on the right. So to indicate that is for me, he's not willing to sacrifice himself for the team in that view, because Barnes is playing better on the left, and what would actually be better for the team at the moment would probably be Barnes on the left, Gordon on the right, and then just seeing, and then going from there, because Gordon has played well on the right before. So, and he's quicker than Barnes, so I'd actually think he'd do better with the crossing. Thought Barnes put in some really good crosses actually last night, in the crossing from the right is not his game. He's really good when he cuts inside on his left and curls it into the back post. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that one. But fair play for bringing it up. That's fine. I'm happy to have as many discussions, etc., about what's going on here as often as possible. So it's an interesting dilemma that Newcastle have. The season is in a position where if we take advantage of it, we could be flying now. Properly flying. Really could be. It's a delicate balance. You've got Wolves in the league, and then obviously there's Champions League games. Well, let's just focus on the league for now. Then it's Aston Villa at home. We have a believable record against Unai Emery's Aston Villa and against Villa in general. Yeah, no, prefer. Yeah, Cuff, going back to the Gordon thing, prefers and doesn't like is a long way from refusing to play there. Yeah, apologies if I did say he refused to play there. Didn't mean to. I don't think he's not refused to play there. It's just that I think saying he doesn't like playing there is an issue for me. I feel like if it's better for the team, he should be there. But yeah, that's where I am with that one. And Semenyo's not cup tied. Okay, so it's now been amended. Okay, well, no problem. Well, that's classic, but it is what it is. And look, Semenyo is a great footballer, but Manchester have a lot of great footballers, and so do Newcastle. It should be a really good game. As I say, the point of the Carabao Cup game, semi-final, is the fact that we're at home first, and City's defensive issues means that if we can exploit them and we can take a 2-goal lead to the Etihad, then we will have a great. I think we've got a good chance of getting through. At Jopadoni, thank you, Jack. You've been amazing. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. No problem at all. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next time. We've only got less than 10 minutes to go now anyway, but I really appreciate everyone tuning in. This has been brilliant. All of the interactions been fantastic. Really, really appreciate it all for my first show. Couldn't have wished for anything better. It's absolutely flown by, and it's all flown by thanks to everyone's brilliant interaction on this with me. So great stuff again. Just quickly, I'll plug my Twitter. So yeah, just my Twitter. There's my Twitter name there. If you go on there and give me a follow, really appreciate it. I don't always tweet about Newcastle, but I do tweet a lot about football and have my talkSPORT appearances, etc. So you could do that. And then if you do get a chance, just on YouTube, type in Inside the Toon and watch talkSPORT's Newcastle show. It's going to be weekly from next Friday as well. So every Friday it'll be out weekly, which I'm absolutely delighted about as well. And then I'm going to be on this at least once a week as well. So really good stuff. Trying to bring Newcastle content to you all. And look, I totally appreciate that people aren't going to agree with me. I don't want everyone to agree with me. I think it's better that you don't agree with me. I want these discussions. I want these debates. This is what makes football so great. It'd be so boring if we all had the same opinion and the same view of even our football club that we all love. So I love this, and I love this interaction, and it's been absolutely brilliant. And of course, I'll give you a reminder for the channel as well. So a quick reminder, like and subscribe. We've been getting involved in the chat, so don't need to worry about that. Join NTTV Plus for £4.99 for full member access. If you were refunded recently, please make sure you have rejoined. So, Geordie Yam Yam, amazing start, Jack. Been great singing, talking to you. Thank you very much, Geordie Dan, as well. Thank you. Excellent first stream, Jack. It's flown over. Brilliant. Thank you very much, lads. Really appreciate it all. I've got about 7 minutes or so left. So, what's up next then for Newcastle? It's Bournemouth at home. And as I said, Eddie Howe's got some weird thing against his former club. We can't beat them. We haven't beat them in the Premier League. We have beat them in the League Cup once, which was at home. This is a Bournemouth team who went 11 without a win. They did beat Spurs last night. However, I will say I don't think that was a deserved scoreline. It was great to see Semenyo score his winner. It was an excellent goal by Antoine Semenyo. Really, really good. But Spurs had a lot of chances, and they play well, and Bournemouth look a bit shaky, bit all over the place in my view. Not quite there in numerous ways. Obviously, they've got Clivert out. They will not have Antoine Semenyo. I'm expecting Iraola to still play a strong team. I'm expecting Eddie Howe to play a strong team. In terms of rotation, what am I expecting? I think Ramsdale will start. I think we'll see Livramento start. I think we'll see Botman start. I think Chow will come straight back into the team, and I think Botman will start alongside Chow. I think it'll be Livramento at left back. I think it'll be Miley at right back. I think Bruno will start, And then I think it might be Ramsey and Joe Linton. I think Tonali will get a total rest, which makes sense to me. And then Murphy and Barnes, and then probably Visser would be my guess at the starting 11, I think. I think Visser, but then again, could be the striker one's actually interesting. I'm not actually sure he'll be up front, but I think Ramsey will get started midfield alongside Bruno and Joe Linton. I think we'll see Miley at right back, Tino at left back, just to give Hall a little bit of a rest. I think Botman will start alongside Chow. And then I think Ramsdale will be in net. Murphy at right wing, Barnes at left wing, and then a decent bench. Maybe Alanga will be fit to get back on the bench. Although, as I said, we all know Alanga's struggling badly, but still, it'd be nice to have him available on the bench. Then Bournemouth, and then it's an extremely quick turnaround, isn't it? Extremely quick turnaround. Straight into that big game against Manchester City, Carabao Cup, which I will be reacting to next Wednesday. I believe that's when my next show is. Let's have a look what time it's going to be. So next Wednesday at 12 o'clock. So 12 p.m. I will be back on here reacting to the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final against Manchester City. So thank you all very much for joining. It's been absolutely brilliant. I've absolutely loved it. Thanks for watching. Of course, make sure you're subscribed and hit the like button. Comment below if you're watching back and join NTTV Plus for £4.99 to access all member content and support the channel. So thank you very much. I'll see you later.